Hey guys, what's up? It's Ghost here and my co-host.
Nathan. Ah.
And welcome to episode 4 of our crappy little podcast, Real Talk. And you may notice something off the bat. First off, there is a shadow on the screen that I forgot to get rid of since there's not going to be a follower count. You know, fuck it, I'm putting the follower count back on the screen because I don't like that shadow being there for no reason. But whatever. We are not live. We're not live on Twitch. Timing and shit didn't work out, so
But we're still recording.
yeah. So we just want to do the podcast because fuck not doing this weekly. This is actually a whole lot of fun because it gives us an excuse basically to hang out once a week for at least an hour. And not to say we don't, but I mean shit, it's a point, you know.
Yeah.
And a lot of and this is real talk. So how's your week been, Nathan? Oh wait, before you say anything, as a note, Nathan's got a guest.
Huh.
So if we start exchanging words with Lissa, who I think we've mentioned on this podcast a couple of times,
Multiple times.
his girlfriend's behind him, so she may chime in with random sarcasm or self-deprecation, which both are her. Also, no
Honestly,
music.
probably not.
Really? I'm impressed.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
Because, I mean, listen, I couldn't even get you to talk to David for like a long time.
I have no context about what this conversation is about.
He's like, she
I-
might chime in. And I'm like, nah. Because you barely wouldn't ever.
Okay, well, first of all, I can't even hear David.
Yes, I know.
Second of all, I'm concentrating
But you can hear
really
me.
hard. So if you can tell me FOG of X equals FG of X, if you could tell me what that means, I'll be set.
Thank you.
FOG.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I could actually do that equation, but I don't want to. But
Is that what this is going to turn into, a math podcast?
yeah, totally. I just bring her up in case she says anything to you, like, and I was mainly.
G at X to obtain G of X. Then about a function G at no F at G.
Can you tell her to shove her calculus up her ass? Thanks.
She's not even in calculus.
Sounds like it. I heard FOG. Is that like algebra?
Before pre-calc.
Wait,
Wait, what?
I'm in the class before pre-calc,
so algebra 2.
so I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's called intermediate algebra.
I heard way too many FOGs equals to not think it's calculus.
David just believes it's calculus.
Everything's calculus. I need you to understand.
Everything is calculus.
All algebra is calculus.
No, I'm in calc, honey.
I did a lot of calc.
So, no, I was in intermediate algebra a while ago, now I'm in college algebra. Sorry.
What's the difference?
One more level up.
So algebra 2.
No.
She proved my point, by the way. Like, I was mainly just mentioning her as a bit, so that way.
Did you hear what she said?
Yeah.
Oh.
I need to learn how to play the dun-dun-dun on my fucking guitar, but I mainly mentioned her like as a bit because I thought it would be funny if she actually did say anything, you know, just like it's funny there's someone behind him listening to us be fucking stupid. You know. But then she actually just talked about math for a hot fucking minute. So, you know how it'd be. Yeah, I was just mentioning it as a bit, but fuck it. So yeah, how was your week?
Well, considering it's Tuesday.
Okay, I meant last week.
Good. Listen, took me to the movies. That was fun.
Hell yeah.
We saw Zombieland Double Tap.
Yeah.
It was okay. It was pretty good. It was a lot better than I was initially anticipating. The very next day I saw The Addams Family, which was weird. I've never gone to the movie theaters 2 days in a row.
Ooh, baller. Wait, I had to double check something. Is my mic recording? Okay, good. I mean, I usually have my mic muted before every stream because it's usually the starting stream key.
Yeah.
But no, my mic's on. It's good. Uh, my week was all right. I did my first commission in a really really long time. Now, granted, I closed my commissions not that like maybe a month or two ago because I was just like I need to focus on life, and then I just kind of let life happen around me for 2 months. So I need to get back on that saddle very badly, but that's neither here nor there. I did my first commission. I got paid today. So that's
Nice.
lit. He picked a design that, and it's something that I always talk about whenever I have commissions and I have to make multiple designs so they can choose basically. Every time I make multiple designs, it's always the one I hate they love. And
I know.
And I'm just like, you know what? That's what opinions are, I guess.
Yep.
Like, and
They paid you for it.
yeah, I got paid extra because I delivered it like 3 days before turn in. So,
Nice.
and he is doing a Halo podcast called The Great Journey. I'm just gonna say the name just because he didn't ask me to shout it out, but he's gonna shout out my stuff on his, so I feel it's right. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
But yeah, it's just a Halo podcast. I don't know much more than that. But other than that,
I guess I released
oh
a
yeah,
single
yeah,
2 days ago.
pulling teeth.
Yes.
It would have been day of when this was when this is supposed to be live, but we're 2 days out, so. But yeah, pulling teeth. That shit's
Yeah,
lit.
that, sounds alright.
I liked it.
Sounds better, but
Yeah, I don't. I'll be real with you. The vocals kind of, they were good, but like they felt really out of place. I think that's
Yeah.
just because I heard it instrumental with no context the first time.
no, yeah, but there's supposed to be much more.
Ah,
I just wanted it to be different.
I get it. I get it. I feel that.
Fuck you.
How's the EP coming along then? Is it?
What? Repeat that?
How's the EP coming along then? Is it still set for October 31st?
Halloween, yes.
Hell yeah!
I sent Marlon videos last night, of like all the parts that he needs to learn. So hopefully he's able to
learn.
watch all of that and learn. But who knows?
Do you have faith in Marlon? I have faith in Marlon. I don't even know
I
Marlon.
will say that I have faith in Marlon.
I only have faith in Marlon because he likes my art.
That's a fair reason.
But yeah. Is it kosher to talk about what we were talking about before? Like, would it be smart of me to bring up what we were talking about before I started the stream?
What, getting hacked?
Yeah.
Sure.
I just don't know.
And also, David, we're not streaming.
I mean, yeah, I know, but it's like, is that safe to bring up?
No, we're not streaming, Melissa. We're recording only right now.
What?
Yeah.
Oh. I don't know. I got hacked, and that shit's wild. I've never been actually hacked before. I don't think. I had my phone stolen in the 9th grade, and a bunch of girls flooded my Instagram and camera roll and my Snapchat. And fucking the chick who's actually my best friend, fucking Karen, she wrote in calligraphy "fuck David" on something, and that was just on my Snapchat. I wish I still had the picture. Shit was stupid. But I also just shouldn't have left my phone unattended with a bunch of high school girls.
Yeah, that's what you get.
But yeah, no, it was funny. Oh, a big thing. This week and it technically happened on Sunday. Actually, we both did some crazy shit on Sunday. I restarted my Instagram. So I've had a designed Instagram for like the longest, but I never use it for whatever reason. And I used it for a hot minute, like consistently, and then around the beginning of this year, I just dropped off for some reason, and because I can, it's weird. I can do Instagram marketing. It's not that hard, right?
Hashtag.
Yeah, hashtags get you likes, and once you get enough likes and people start viewing your shit, it's a whole bunch of other shit basically involved with collaborations and shout outs and shit. It's weird. Yeah. And then you start having to shout other people out. And I mean, I'm good at doing promos. I've promoted your songs enough.
All the time.
My first post back was actually a promo for Moon Mother.
Yeah, exactly.
So, which is lit.
That's my point.
But, so basically I got that, back rolling because Twitter's way more difficult to do, and I'm not Twitter savvy, and I've had to hard reset Twitter twice, and I really don't want to do that again. It's hard to Twitter's way harder to climb on.
How to use Twitter.
It's because to climb on Twitter you need to be connected to something or somebody, or just get really fucking lucky. Because every time I've popped off on Twitter, it was because a person relevant liked it. I've had 3 posts get over 50 likes, and that's not a lot comparably. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like everyone that I was surrounded with are always in that number. Like that's, if they had pulled my numbers, there'd be a fucking issue. But every post that I've ever like succeeded in was like a Houston Outlaws wallpaper when the Houston Outlaws liked it. My Rainbow Six Twitter header where one of the members of the team liked it, and
I remember that actually. Yeah.
I flipped the fuck out. I posted those today because
Nice.
they weren't posted on my Instagram from when I made them, because I made them like right as I started Instagram, or right as I started Twitter, and my the fuck is it called? What the fuck is it called? Oh, and I made a charity poster for a wrestling group that I watch, and because I was really hyped about the event, and that got over 100 likes because they liked it, and then a bunch of people were retweeting it like it was the actual promo.
Oh, they actually liked it?
Yeah.
Nice.
I messaged them and thanked them for it.
That's dope.
Yeah, they liked it. They didn't actually see the follow up where I actually made like Scott Steiner, who won the thing they were doing that year. I made him like the head of it and how much they raised, but they didn't actually see that one. Which, fuck it, I'll take 150 likes.
Yeah, right.
On a post. It doesn't really matter.
You can get.
Yeah, no, I don't mind. And plus, I was kind of I was kind of hot shotting. I was kind of just posting it to see if it'll get likes. I'll admit, I'm a piece of shit. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of some shit you have to do sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah.
You gotta put yourself out there in weird ways. I tried to make a follow-up with the Navi team banners, but then the team, because that team that I made before, they got put on a new team. And when I made the Navi banners, nobody gave a shit. Well, actually, one of the team members liked it, but he likes all my posts that he's in. So it didn't really do much.
Yeah.
But then, not to say I didn't appreciate the like. That shit was awesome.
Right.
Because he is generally like one of my favorite players. But then they all got dropped from Navi like within a week of me making them. So, oops.
It's your fault.
Yeah, totally. It sucks. It really sucks. Just like the R6 scene. I could go on for days about that shit. I don't even play the game anymore, but I watch enough Pro League to be mad at it. I haven't watched it recently though. Mostly because I was like, it's the same old, and then suddenly it wasn't. But let me not go on a rant about Pro League.
Yeah, I don't even.
Yeah, you
I don't
wouldn't.
know any of the teams right now.
I mean,
The
they're
only leagues I knew were I just knew a bunch of the CS:GO teams.
dude.
That's a good question. Why do we need math? What about that, David? Why do we need math?
Because there's a
For
fine.
my social engineering project. I'm just kidding.
Well, you need math so you can comprehend basic shit. Like,
He says you need math so you can comprehend basic shit.
because mentally, before math was created, we had no way to represent that two things equals two.
She says case study, please.
Fuck you.
Fuck you. I love it. I'm being the middleman here.
I know, it's whatever. No, like, I remember somebody made a joke that, like, before math, did they understand that two things equals two? And I'm like, probably. They just didn't know how to write it.
Right, express it.
Like, it's just like, that's what math was for. It's the expression of the ability to add, subtract, multiply, and divide. Because in reality, everything in math is just that, just taken to a very interesting level.
My first grade teacher told me that multiplication is addition's cousin. I'm being dead serious.
Don't worry. I got real hyped up in the second grade because I was the only kid in class who remembered PEMDAS. I got real hyped up. I was also.
Excuse my soggy asshole.
No.
Wow, actually, I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting that to actually work.
You're thinking of never eat soggy waffles, which is.
No. I'm thinking of please eat my soggy asshole.
Please. Where'd divide go? Is that what you do to the soggy asshole? Okay, let's stop.
Mossy asshole.
Oh god. That's from an old video where I just in the middle was like, let me Google how to say asshole in French. And there is a proper way to say it in French, but Google Translate doesn't know swears, so it's just like fucking it just said Mossy asshole. Well, actually, it said Mossy to or Mossy to hole because I think to was like behind. I think I'm not sure. So behind.
French one twice. So
I got up to French 3 and dipped. He ain't bragging. He's just telling the truth.
Definitely bragging.
You motherfucker. I mean, I can't front on you. I struggled like a motherfucker, and if it was not because my teachers loved me, I'd be absolutely fucked. And again, I passed French 1 in middle school because I had a panic attack. So...
He says I passed French 1 in middle school because I had a panic attack.
That's not a joke. That's a very real statement.
Because his teacher just liked him and felt bad for him and gave him like a B or something.
Yeah, give me a B on that assignment, and I definitely deserved a fat old like C or F. Georgia doesn't do D's. I'm being like.
Georgia doesn't do D's? What?
Yeah, there's no D's in Georgia. I think I've told you the grading system before down here.
For what? Why?
I don't know. It's just like you either pass or you don't type shit. Like okay, A's are 100 to 90. B's are 89 to 80. Now here's the weird part. C's are 79s to 71s. D's are 70s. Failing is 69 and below.
Failing. Listen to this. Failing is 69 and below. In Georgia. Failing is 69 and below.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah, here it's like 50 and below.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we don't play that pussy shit.
You don't play that pussy shit.
Nah, but I've said this before, and everyone always acts surprised when they're not from Georgia, and I'm like, it's just like, I don't know, that makes sense to me because we just did away with like the letter grade of D because it's literally just a we passed you because we liked you grade. Like in a lot of cases, because that's just how it was in my school. It was always like, hey, we liked the student, so we rounded a 69 up into a 70, so they got a D. It was actually way harder to get a D than it was to get any other grade in the class because you had to get exactly a 70.
Huh.
And yeah, no, I remember when I said this, and my friends are always like, man, everyone at this school is stupid because my friends were pretentious assholes.
Yeah.
And it's just like
Definitely.
they would think everybody in the school is stupid because they get C's, and it's just like when I said, and now that when I talk to a whole bunch of people from other states, they're like, what? Their C is like a B for us, and I'm like, I'm suddenly realizing that most of my school is just way smarter than y'all, motherfucker. Like, y'all are way smarter than they think. Like, a C from here, and then take like a C from like Kansas, motherfucker.
Fucking Kansas.
So it's like, yeah, no, kids are. It's just weird, but I like it. So like, whenever I was like, oh, I got a B, I swear to God, somebody thought I got a 70 once when I said I got a B. Like some shit like that. Because like, the grading system, from what I know in a lot of places, is like 100 to 95 is an A, or some shit.
100 to 95 is an A.
In some places,
Ugh.
not here. I can tell you that much.
Oh, not there? Okay, good.
No, an A is 100 to 90. So you have a huge range.
That makes sense.
But no, there's like, that was how the grading system used to be back when my mom was growing up. Sorry. I'm aware my password has changed. Thank you. I tried to leave my robotics team's remind chat and it won't let me.
Whoa, you are going robotic.
Beep boop, son. Beep boop.
Word, I can hear you.
I keep trying to leave my robotics team's remind chat and it won't let me.
Why not?
I don't know. It's like I just know whenever they have meetings. So that's fun. If I ever need to go stunt on the freshmen and be like, I didn't go to college.
Go show up, go. Go, hey guys, I'm part of the team.
I didn't go to college yet.
I still qualify.
I'm a senior plus.
Oh, here we call that super senior.
That's not, we call those the PCO kids or whatever the fuck. Those are the kids that are in the trailers.
Fuck.
I shit you not. We have, because you have trailers at school, right? Or yeah. All of the outdoor all the outdoor classes are remediations and storage.
Wow.
And it's just like, because you never see them.
Bam.
And I'd argue that's better for them. Because I want you to imagine, like, say they didn't want to tell people that they failed senior year, they have to repeat a class.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times they didn't fail. It's not like they're straight up seniors. It's like they failed a class. I had a friend who failed 9th grade literature and didn't
You had a friend who failed what?
9th grade literature and
Okay.
didn't fix that shit until senior year. And we kept yelling.
Something I would have done, not gonna lie.
We kept yelling at him to do it senior year, and he almost didn't. which means he would have
Also
had to.
something I would have done.
Which means he would have had to come back the first semester of this school year, which would have been ridiculous, in my humble opinion.
I bet he would have hated it.
Yeah, he ended up graduating on time though. So the respect for that. At least he graduated. That's kind of my logic to a lot of shit.
Yeah.
At least they graduated. That's all that matters. But yeah, I've been talking a lot. It's been 25 minutes, and I'm pretty sure I talked for 15 of them.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what to talk about.
I mean, you're in school.
Going on?
You're in school currently, correct?
Yes. It's been all right. Not. I mean, I'm doing good.
That's
I actually just checked my grades like yesterday for the first time in a quarter.
what?
Yeah.
Homie, it's October.
Yeah.
What would you have done if they weren't to your liking?
Fixed them.
I
I think that's the correct answer.
I laugh because it's like, you know, like I check my grades on a weekly basis senior year. Just because it was like I refuse to fail.
Just gives me too much anxiety.
Because like my senior year, I was like, I have a GPA that's staring me in the fucking eyes, and I need to keep it from falling. Like that was my entire thing that year. Because it's like, I've said it to a lot of juniors before I left. I was like, y'all need to understand that whatever your GPA is at the end of this year, it will not go up next year. So you need to not fuck up. Like, well, it could go up technically. I think it could go up like a half a point, but it's like that's not a lot. So your mind should be set on maintaining your fucking GPA, and your senior year is always your easiest. So
yeah, technically, listen, I'm still technically
You're a senior.
right, but I'm still making up a junior class. I'm taking junior.
Yes, but you have
English.
enough credits.
But yeah,
so you have so you have the credits of a senior, but you're missing a junior year class.
yes.
No, then yeah, you're still technically a senior.
Which is wonderful to know because when I joined the program, second semester of sophomore.
Spring 2000.
Yeah, spring 2018. I had like 8 credits.
Fucking O.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Oh, I had 4 credits.
Oh shit! Oh shit! God, you on a comeback? You on an actual comeback? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Goddamn, you were down 624, and you coming back. I'm impressed, genuinely.
Yeah, it's thanks to Lissa, to be honest.
I mean, I could have guessed that.
Yeah.
Judging by the fact she was the one that remembered how many credits you had.
What do you say?
He said I could assume that judging by she was the one who remembered how many credits you had.
Oh god, that's fucky. It's such an interesting dynamic, you and me, because I'm always like I care way too much about school when I was in it, and when I get into college, I'm probably gonna be the exact same way. I'm gonna care way too much about it.
Yeah, I didn't care enough.
We're both on the bad ends of the spectrum. Granted, I would always just end up giving up halfway. I should really.
Definitely, I
think we both do that. I mean, giving up halfway. Shit happens.
It's
Ooh.
like you do it, but then it's late, and then you're like, why finish it if it's late?
Don't give her any ideas.
Oh no.
I know.
No, she'd kill me.
I know she would.
What?
He's like, don't give her any ideas. And I'm like, no. I wouldn't be the one giving you any ideas.
She said it exactly how you did. No. Yeah. School's a fun topic to me, just because it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, especially in retrospect. Because, like,
I can't wait till it's retrospect.
you say that. There's some shit that, like, there's some luxuries of being in school that you kind of forget about. Like, once you're out.
You're probably right.
Like, there's a lot of shit in school that you should be happy you can take advantage of today.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, yeah, you fuck up. At least you're not paying for this shit. I mean, you're not getting paid for it either, but you're not paying for it, which is kind of the big one there. Okay. So here's the thing that I was thinking about not that long ago. What's like the most disappointed you've ever been in a game release? And what game?
It's a good question, but I did not have time to prepare an answer for it.
Yeah.
So I need to think about that for a minute.
You want me to go off on a tangent while you do?
Yeah, because I could just say some, like, Call of Duty something, but, like...
Yeah, there's a lot of low-hanging fruit.
There's probably something else that is, like, more meaningful.
How things are sizing up, it's, for me, in the future, it's going to either be Dying Light 2 or The Elder Scrolls 6, because I'm unbelievably hyped for both those games, and I'm scared they're both going to be bad.
Yeah, I can see Elder Scrolls
6
being a disappointment.
It might be. I mean, I have faith in Dying Light 2. I saw gameplay earlier a couple of days ago, and I didn't know there was gameplay out. I mean, I knew there was gameplay, but I just hadn't seen it because the reveal happened like earlier this year, I think in May, and I just never got around to looking at it. And it looks just as gorgeous and as good as the last one, so, and the story's just as so-so, and I never really cared about the story, so hardcore parkour.
More so just
I love the gameplay. It's such it's so fun to just play. Like that and Mirror's Edge are definitely like some of my favorite games when it just comes to when it comes to just pure gameplay. Like like I never played the second Mirror's Edge Catalyst, but
I don't think I did either.
I heard a lot of negative shit about it.
Really?
Yeah. It was something about like it didn't feel finished. Which is worrisome because I mean at least Dying Light's independently produced. That's my only like it's not an EA project. But
ooh, yeah, okay. So like Battlefront or Battlefront 2.
Ooh.
Like the new ones that EA did. Disappointments for sure.
What are you disappointed in about them?
I mean, I guess it's EA. I feel like that's all I have to say.
I mean, yeah, I definitely agree. EA definitely has a tendency of making, especially in these recent couple of years, pretty shit games.
Yeah, and I mean
and fucking up good series.
Fixed a lot of things.
Yeah.
That like lots of things that initially were problems for those games just aren't necessarily anymore.
I could see that. Yeah, no, EA definitely. Like, I know I've said it in the past. I don't think I've said it on the podcast, but I am hard in the camp of the fuck Blizzard, boycott Blizzard shit.
Yes.
And if you don't understand the context, yeah, if you don't know the context, a brief summary. basically a player that plays Hearthstone got banned really hard, and the two announcers that were there interviewing him, who didn't stop him from saying what he said, got fired because he basically said that he stood with Hong Kong in this current humanitarian crisis. And then when that happened, Blizzard banned all of them, removed his prize money and his rank, and then after that they gave him back his prize money, but then only like halved his ban and the announcer's ban, which is so not what they should have done. And their basic reasoning was like, because it wasn't the time or place. And I'm like, what would be better? Because I think that's a perfect time and a perfect place to get your message out there.
I mean, that's the only place that dude is probably going to be able to.
Exactly. And it pissed me off, because it's just like, I don't care about China like that. Like, I've played games by Tencent. Like, Tencent by themselves don't bother me. And I know that's like a big one that everybody brings up, because Tencent has investment in Blizzard. And Tencent is basically controlled by the government of China. But it's just like, they literally do what they're told. Like, Tencent doesn't care what happens. They are told by the Chinese government to do a thing, so they do a thing. That's Tencent. Yeah. So it's just like, so I have no qualms with them on a personal level, but like, China's issue in Hong Kong is a very serious one that I feel like deserves so much more spotlight. But then for Blizzard to cut a player's tongue out for giving it spotlight was ridiculous. And I said in another analogy was like, if this was, say, a Nigerian player talking about a war criminal, would they have done the same thing?
Right.
Because in their claim, they said that it was something along, like, not the right time or place, and that their whole everybody deserves a voice basically applies when the stream isn't about the game. Was kind of their context, which is strange. And like, because I'm like, yeah, so if somebody who wasn't hurting your bottom line complained, would you have let it go through? Like, that's my thing, and it bothers me.
Right.
But back off of the whole political statement. And it's fuck Blizzard, and I'm still scared about saying fuck Activision, because I kind of want to play Modern Warfare. I'm really conflicted. Because the 50-50 partnership, and that's the shitty part. I'm really conflicted, just because it's Call of Duty.
I mean, yeah, but the beta was fun.
Yeah, I think it's just, I think we have to do what we've always done and just separate them as companies. In a way. But it's still like, I still have an issue. Like, I'm gonna be conflicted about it, but that's me, right? But like, say fuck Blizzard politically, but in actuality, fuck EA on such a harsh level. Because they just fuck everything up. Like,
all the time.
Give them a really good thing, like you did with Mirror's Edge, like you did with Mass Effect, like you did with a lot of fucking series, and just, they will release the next game and it'll fucking blow. Like, EA, if EA didn't have Madden, they'd be fucked. Like, on a serious level, like, they'd be fucked. And, like, I don't know. My biggest disappointment so far isn't even a game I played.
Really? What is it?
It was WWE 2K20. So it was released like yesterday. And I watched gameplay of it, and I was just like, it was a release stream, so a midnight release stream. So I watched it until 8 a.m. And like, these guys love to break the game. Like, that's their gimmick. They just enjoy making the game shitty. Because it's fun. And I mean, I think everyone can kind of agree, to a certain extent, doing glitches that aren't intentioned in the game can be really fun. Because they do crazy ass shit, right?
Yeah.
But especially in games that are supposed to be kind of realistic to a degree, like the 2K games. But but this game is just god awful. Like, it's one of those things where it's like there's just so much fucking potential staring you in the eyes, but none of it's there. And 2K19 was apparently a decent game, and I plan on getting 2K19 around Christmas.
You played that one.
No, I played 2K18.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna play 2K19 when it comes around Christmas, because when it goes on sale, it usually goes on sale for $15, as it should, because that's all those games are worth.
Yeah.
And whoop, that's my guitar. I'm moving my fan so it's actually facing me, and in the process just kicked my guitar.
It's October. Why do you need a fan?
'Cause it's hot in my house. I don't fucking know why it's hot. It's just hot.
Well, tell it to stop being hot.
It's cold as fuck outside, so I guess that's a positive. But yeah, it was just, it's glitchy. So much shit in it, it's just not right, basically. And like, it's glitchy in a way that isn't fun. Like, online is just fucked as shit. And I don't use online, so that's not an issue for me. Universe mode, which is the mode I use all the time, completely fucked. As in, it's the exact same as it was last year. Which means minimal and stupid. And that's why I say it's fucked, because I hate it. I played too much universe mode to give a shit about them not, it being, like, I need something new.
Right.
Showcase is apparently bullshit because the controls suck. Because, like, they changed the controls and the targeting sucks, the hit reg sucks, the AI are just ridiculously difficult for no reason sometimes. And I mean, yeah, you're playing on the highest difficulty, but why are they just suddenly way more difficult type shit? Like, they should have been this hard from the fucking kick,
Yeah.
Which is like a thing where it's like, if there's a difficulty curve, it should be a curve, not a step. You know what I mean? But then and then that showcase, and fuck showcase. And all day showcases is basically you play through events that happened in real life and reenact them in the ring. But here's the crazy shit. The shit you're reenacting happened 4 years ago. This year. It's shit that's like happened very recently, and I don't and I get it. It's like a huge thing. It's the whole women's revolution now that women's wrestling is being taken seriously in WWE, right?
And it's not just women almost having sex with each other, basically.
Yeah, I fucking, trust me. If you want to hear me go on a fucking tangent, I can talk about how shitty wrestling actually was back in, like, when I started watching, and the time before that. Like, in a bubble, it's great. In actuality, but more or less, like, women's wrestling is like, my favorite wrestler is a woman, like, that type of shit. Like, Becky Lynch is my favorite wrestler. I love her. She's great. It helps that I am attracted to her, but but more to my point is just like, she's great, so it's like she's on the cover of the game along with a male wrestler, which is a little odd. They've never done dual. They've never, since the 2K games, they've never done two people on the covers.
Gotcha.
And the guy she's co-covering with hasn't done anything. Now, granted, he had leukemia earlier this year.
I think that's fair for him to not do anything.
Yeah, no, like, I 100% understand why he didn't do anything, but it's a matter of, like, he didn't do anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Really.
like, if he does, like, I would fully support if he was on it next year, because they're definitely setting him up for something. Roman Reigns, they're setting him up for something again, and I'm actually all for it. I kind of want to see Roman Reigns do something again, because I haven't seen him do anything, like, crazy in a while. So that'll be fun, but like, yeah, you get my gist. It's just like, I don't know. It's really like just whatever. But it's like, but like I get it. It's supposed to be like this huge thing that's happened. Technically, it hasn't been just 4 years, but it didn't really like become a thing until 20. Like it wasn't a thing the company acknowledged until 2014 or 20. Because in reality, it had been going on for years before that. It started in like or in 2015. It started in 2013 technically. Like that's when like all of it kind of picked up and everyone was like why aren't the women main eventing was kind of like an actual issue people had with events, because it's like, this is the storyline we care about, why are they not main eventing? And it's that kind of shit. So, and it culminated this last WrestleMania, where the main event of WrestleMania was a triple threat women's match that had Ronda Rousey in it.
Oh boy, Ronda Rousey.
Hey, she wasn't bad for how green she was. I'm gonna be real, Jupe. She was not a bad wrestler. Like,
what does that mean for how green she was?
New.
Ah.
Whenever you start wrestling, you're green. Like, because you don't know better, basically. You're bad. But she wasn't that bad for being that green, so I'll give her respect in that regard. Also, she could kick my fucking head off. So.
Oh, definitely.
So, I also have respect for the fact she could probably kill me. Probably, definitely. But yeah, it's just like, fuck that shit. I don't care. Like, it happened 4 years ago. I watched it, you know, and I watched it like recently. It's not like a 2K16 had the Stone Cold Steve Austin showcase where it was it's like Steve Austin's rise from mid-card success to the biggest wrestler in wrestling history. You know, like, it's like, yeah, I didn't grow up during that, so it's probably where some of my enjoyment came from. But that also happened like 10, 15 years ago. Like, that's a better gauge than...
It's not as recent.
Yeah, like, it's just weird. And again, I don't mind, but if I really wanted to see these matches, I'd watch them on the WWE Network, which is cheaper than paying for this video game. In fact, I watched a lot of them already recently. But yeah, and career sucks. Career fucking blows because it's written really, really marky.
I feel like it always does. I don't.
2K games career
is
sucks.
Never really that good in those games.
Well, in the 2K series, they aren't. They were, because like the reason that career was funny in the earlier games is because they were, they were funny. They were stupid, and they were self-contained. Because it's like, it's like a Road to WrestleManias. I loved Road to WrestleManias.
That was fun.
Because those were basically the SVR's equivalent to career. And they're really funny and they're really cool because it's like, it's a new story that, for all intent and purposes, can't be told in real life. So they have to tell it within the annals of a video game.
Yeah.
But career only sucks because you can't do wrestling realistically. You feel like, because wrestling's fake. Oh god, I'm exposing the business. Because wrestling's fake, you can't do wrestling like you can do basketball. So like my career in the NBA games works perfectly because it's like, it's just play fucking basketball.
Yeah.
But the issue is that you have to kind of do a story in these games, because you have to do a story in the My Career too. I think you start off with stories in the 2K games, but it's just like, those feel more real because they are. And last year they actually did it right, because you started out as an indie wrestler, so you wrestled for the independent people.
Okay.
And you start out as an indie wrestler, you pick up a head load of steam, And then you just go off doing goofy shit. And you know what makes wrestling great? It's fucking goofy. So let the goofy shit happen. And it was fun. Like, I thought 2K19, from what I've seen of it, the career was okay. Right? It's a little cringy at worst. And it's hard for them to reference the independents without getting sued.
Right.
But they did their best. And it's just like, it's cool that there's like a story and all that. But then this year they did something cool. You play as both a male and a female, right?
Like it's a split.
Yeah, like
story.
No, they're going on the story together. Like their entire story is completely connected. Like they're connected at the hip type shit, which alone is kind of annoying. I'd rather it be two separate stories than they're connected at the hip, and one of them has to end up being the sidekick. It's the guy this year, so I don't care because I never really cared for the characters in the first place.
That makes sense as to why there's two on the cover.
Yeah, maybe that probably helps that whole gimmick, but they're like connected at the hip, so their entire story is told with each other, and the shit that pisses me off is they are the markiest marks to ever mark. And you don't know what mark means, do you? A mark in professional wrestling, like lingo, I guess, is a person who takes wrestling seriously. Basically, okay. So they will freak out when they're supposed to, or basically they act like it's real. And in my opinion, everybody has a mark out moment when something like big happens and it's unbelievable. That shot of dopamine, you're marking out, but it's not a bad thing. And then there are smart marks, or smarks, which are basically people who know it's fake and just love to tell people how fake it is. And everybody, when they first learn wrestling's fake and get into it, is a smark. Because I was.
Okay.
Like, I was a horrible smark, but it was like, nowadays I just talk about it because it's fun. But more or less, they would basically kept mentioning buzzwords and shit. Before they even trained to wrestle, they were just like, saying real stupid shit that, like, what I think they think wrestling fans talk to each other about. And also they were way too hopeful to be training wrestlers. Because I've never met a wrestler in my life, and granted I don't think actually any off the top of my head. But I've never, like, heard a wrestler talk about...
That you know of.
Yeah, that, like, talk about how successful they want to be. Unless they've already made it. You feel me?
Okay.
Like, because, like, a big thing in wrestling is being humble and understanding that it's a 1 in a million shot that you're going to hit the major leagues. Much like sports. It's really difficult to hit the major leagues and be the... you know, the WWE superstar, let alone a WWE champion.
Yeah.
Like that's a really hard metric to hit. So a lot of people go into it understanding that, or get taught that very quickly. That, hey, you're working this shitty bar for like $2, or for like $2 a week for a month for like 10 people for like 3 months before you've, like, you know, like that's the type of shit. That's just
where are you that's paying you $2 a week?
It's mostly a joke that wrestlers don't get paid a lot.
Okay.
Because if you're an independent wrestler, you're an independent contractor. They can pay you whatever they want. Literally. Because how wrestling works is usually the promoter's like, hey, at least this is from what I know, and granted it's very limited. They're just like, hey, you want to do a show? Sure, how much? This much. Okay, I'll do it. Like, that's literally how the conversations fucking go. And I've always said I want to train to wrestle. I don't want to, like... I obviously, everybody inside wants to, like, go major league, but it's like, I won't. I'll gladly run the ropes for 10 people and take a back bump every night. I think that'll be fun. Because it's my passion. I love professional wrestling like that.
Yeah.
But like, they're just so like flashy and mark, and it's just like, oh, I hate it. I hate it so much. Because it's like, whenever I hear people in the wrestling community, they don't talk like that. So why are they talking like that? Because for all intent and purposes, your My Career character is supposed to be, to a degree, you. Now, whether it's actually you or not is kind of up to debate, but it's like, more or less, it's supposed to be you. And
yeah, you as a wrestler.
So, but like, in my opinion, if I was in their position, yeah, I'd be driving to go join a wrestling school right as I left college once I had the money. Like, dude, if I had a job, I'd probably do wrestling training, like like for real. Like, they're like, where'd your extra money go? Video games? Fuck no, I'd be fucking going to I almost said Terry Taylor. He doesn't have a fucking wrestling school down here. God, Ricky Morton. Even though he's an active wrestler, but Ricky Morton's wrestling school, like, that's a school down here. Then it's like, I'd be at that school like every day, just like smiling because they let me fall on the mat. Like, it's a lot of stuff like that, and I just
what?
It's a lot of stuff like that. Like, wrestling business is a lot of like just respect shit, more or less, from what I gathered. It's just like, you should be happy that there are people letting you fall on their mats.
Yeah.
Like, it's that kind of shit. Appreciate where you are, not where you're going to go. And hey, but if the opportunity arises, fucking gun it, because it's a 1 in a million chance.
Because you got it, yeah.
Like, I've said that 100 times. Like, I want to train to become a professional wrestler. And if I, whatever reason, for no fucking like foresight at all, I get a call and they're like, "Hey, do you want to come do a show in California?" I'll be like, "Yeah." Looks like I'm going to Cali. I'd drop everything. I'm not fucking joking. I'd miss classes for that type of shit. Like, but that's just, that's just wrestling. I'd probably...
I can definitely completely understand that.
It's pretty much exactly what it's like to be like a musician, more or less.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they're both entertainers.
Right.
But it's just like, yeah, no, I'd probably actually do what Xavier Woods did.
I don't know.
He did like an old school thing. Because a lot of people don't travel, right? Because, like, he talked about if somebody wanted to get into gig, it's basically, before you get on a card, go to the show, watch the show, and see what you want to do with people. Like, who do you think you would wrestle well against? Like,
okay.
And then he'd go to the promoter, tell him, like, who he is, where he's from, and ask if he could wrestle, and you'll get no's, but you'll get yeses too.
Yeah.
And he would just wrestle, and he literally wrestled all the way from North Carolina to Tennessee to Georgia. He hit like a shitload of wrestling spots, and this is before anybody knew his name. Like, it's just a matter of just like finding a wrestling event, saying hello, and being like, "Can I work here?"
Yeah.
Like, shit's that crazy. Like, that's how Fast and Loose wrestling is. I went off a very long tangent about wrestling, didn't I? Again.
Yeah. But that's not a problem.
Yeah, my bad. Trust me, if you like knew me as a person, I actually don't talk about wrestling this often, but analogies are analogies, and I was talking about a wrestling game. But yeah, no, that game is kind of shitty, and I wished it would have been better, because I don't know, because 2K19, from what all I heard, was supposed to be like a very good game, like a very solid game, not good. So this year should have been a step up, but you know what happened? Do you know the company Ukes?
No, I don't.
They helped make all the SVR games and shit.
Okay.
Yeah, they left. They left the 2K devs like halfway through production of this year's game. So they had to rebuild.
Why?
I don't remember, but they left and they had to leave they had basically all the 2K devs had to rebuild the game from the ground up
Great.
in new code cuz they didn't
New code.
cuz they didn't own the code basically. They had last year's code and that was it.
Oh my god.
So, yeah, that was kind of shitty. And that's also why I kind of understand why this year was a disappointment. But definitely from what a lot of people, from like what I've seen in the community, is just like, this is a $60 game. They don't deserve like transitional years at this point. We've given them too many.
Yeah.
Like, it's unfortunate that that happened. But really, delay a game. Don't put out a shitty one.
Yeah, for real.
Like, I would have waited till like Christmas or March.
You would have had to.
Yeah, but I still, you get my gist, right? Like,
I mean, yeah, but like that's the whole thing. Like,
I'd have waited.
Everybody else would have too.
Like, and it's okay, like, because we get a better game. And but like, I believe that is more to fall in the 2K upper management than it has to do with the devs.
Yeah.
Because they also have
You just gotta do it.
they have an EA stick up their ass where it's kind of like you have to release a game every year. No, they have an Activision stick up their ass. You have to release a new game every year or we're fucking dropping you. And Infinity Ward's like, man, we could release our own Call of Duty and blow y'all all out the fucking water. Y'all can sit the fuck down. I genuinely believe that if they did, if Infinity Ward left Activision and made their own Call of Duty type game, just didn't call it Call of Duty,
Right.
they could blow Activision out the fucking water.
They could try.
I mean, they wouldn't have the funding for it. I think that's the thing that's holding them back.
Yeah.
That's definitely a thing holding Treyarch back.
Yeah.
Like, if they had the funding to, they could make great games. It's just like you're stuck under the fucking Activision thumb. Any other games you found disappointing when you played them?
I don't know. I don't think I've really been playing very many new games recently. Yeah, I don't know. I guess, I don't know. Rather than talking about, like, what was a disappointment, like, Modern Warfare Beta was way more fun than I expected.
Yeah, no, I expected it to be, not good at all. I expected it to kind of suck, and it was actually a lot more fun. I think the only reason it was... Oh, sorry.
I was just going to say, I enjoyed the way they started doing the lobbies. Like, 6v6 is there, but also 10v10 is there, but also now Mosh Pit, or Ground War, Ground War is 32v32.
Yeah, you literally
Like,
get to play Battlefield.
So, like, not only is the original player count back 6v6, plus the 10v10, like, there's a new Ground War, but it's basically like the old Ground War is still there.
Yeah, you get the opportunity to do that, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, there's just more opportunity.
And if you're not a fan of the new Ground War system, like I'm not, like I don't like. It's probably a thing I have to get used to if I'm gonna play the game. If I'm being honest.
I mean, yeah, me too. I was awful at it.
But if I got used to it, I'm sure it'd be a shitload of fun. The old Ground War, or the new Ground War system, but.
Well, of course, Red Dead Redemption 2 was a great game.
Oh yeah, that's getting a PC release soon.
Yep.
I can't run it, so I
And
don't
it's gonna
care.
get ported to the new
The new.
gen consoles.
Ooh, so Scorpio and
Probably. I
PS.
just assume because that's what they did with GTA 5.
Probably not. I don't think.
You
They
don't think they will?
no, they don't give a lot of staying power to the Red Dead series. They
I don't know. It.
from how they treated the other Red Dead. I mean,
Well, the other Red Dead just wasn't as big in general as this one is. Plus, at the other time, when Red Dead Redemption came out, it wasn't at like a transitional point. Like Red Dead Redemption 2 came out like last year or whatever, and it didn't get a PC release right away. Obviously, they're just waiting for now. And once that gets released, because it's being enhanced to for like max PC settings, it's probably gonna be able to be run on the next gen consoles, and that's like exactly what they did with GTA 5.
yeah,
They
it's
just waited to put it on PC until it was closer to the next gen.
yeah. I mean, next gen isn't coming out. No, next gen's coming out next year, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's
kind of weird, isn't it?
PS5 is coming out next year, right?
Yeah, I think Scarlet too.
Is Scarlet? They're doing it in 2020.
Pretty sure.
Wow, that's a dude. Skyrim or Elder Scrolls 6 on next gen.
Yep.
Ooh, it's gonna be pretty.
Crazy.
Because I don't have the PC to run new shit anymore. that's the shitty part. I'm gonna need to like either sadly invest in a console or just upgrade my PC. To be honest, upgrading my PC is cheaper.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
So I'm probably because I said I was gonna once I have like I'm gonna get like a solid like chunk of change over like a couple of years.
Solid chunk of change.
Like I want to get like a solid chunk of change over a couple of years, and then spend all that on like a maxed out PC for that price range in that year.
Okay.
And that should keep me going for like the next 15 years. So yeah, people always like, the computers depreciate so fast. Your computer just suddenly can't run anything. I'm like, nah. I'm like, dude, the 960 only recently is no longer like the medium, which is what I have.
Yeah.
Like I can't run high settings on anything anymore, but it's like, or any like high end.
Like you can't run anything.
Yeah, like I could run Modern Warfare pretty fucking well.
Yeah.
And I played on low because I wanted to. I could run on medium. I run on low because it's highest at frames, and frames are so definitely important in every game, especially a first-person shooter. But you want to hear something crazy?
Sure.
Grand Theft Auto 5 came out in 2013.
Yeah, I know.
That bothers me. That bothers me. Oh yeah, and I forgot that the PS4 came out in 2014 and the Xbox One came out in 2015.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. I didn't know why.
That was a weird time. Well, I think it was the same reason that the 360 came out. I think was it before the PS3?
I don't know.
Because I think that was the reason for the Red Rings of Death, is that they pushed the Xbox way too soon.
Gotcha.
Because they wanted to beat out PS or PlayStation, but when they did that, they released a funky ass console. I mean, it's not that weird that there's going to be a new gen already. All things considered. Because it's been 4 or 5 years, right? To be honest, I think everyone...
5, 6, 5.
Well, not for 2014, it would be... 5, and for 2015 it would be 4.
Yeah.
At least I'm presuming that those are closer to when those consoles actually came out. I could be wrong in that assumption. Xbox One release date. And then the Xbox did some stupid shit. No, the Xbox One came out November 22nd, 2013. And the PlayStation 4 came out, or was... I guess this is saying introduced. I don't know if that distinguishes it that much. But they were both like introduced in November of 2013. So we knew about the next gen in 2013. So yeah, your number's closer. 6. But it's like, oh, and the Xbox 360 and came out in 2005, and the PS3 came out in 2006. So I guess there is kind of a big stopgap between those two gens.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you got to remember, in the time of PlayStation and Xbox, like in the Xbox 360, we got the Elite, the Slim, and like one other one.
Dude, yeah, it was ridiculous how many versions of the 360 they released.
But there was also the PS Pro, the PS3 Pro.
Oh my god, I don't remember that.
Yeah, there was a
I
PlayStation.
didn't have a PS3.
There was the PS3, PS3 Pro, and I think that was it. I think there were only 2. But they also had all the weird peripherals, like the fucking hand.
Oh, the joysticks that you would like hold.
I don't remember. I'm talking about like the Wii, the knockoff Wii thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I guess they are technically giant joysticks. Like, now that I picture them in my head, they kind of were just giant joysticks, aren't they?
Yeah.
But I mean, and also because Xbox had Kinect.
Xbox Connect.
That thing that's currently sitting in the bottom of a box right next to me that I haven't touched in years.
Me either.
I owned it. I played a couple of games on it, but God, the technology wasn't there for that.
No, it wasn't.
Nowadays, I think it'd actually be really good to do some body capture shit. I think it would be really proactive if Xbox or PlayStation invested more time into it. But at this point, it kind of seems like anything that Xbox and PlayStation are doing or aren't doing, Nintendo's gonna do it and 10 times better than they would. So, I mean, shit, the Wii was kind of lit for motion.
Really lit.
Like for motion
Everybody had a
control,
Wii.
the motion
Whether or
control on
not
the
you
Wii
had
was
a
great.
PlayStation or Xbox, you got a Wii too.
Yeah, it's like I had a Wii.
Or
Just-
you only had a Wii.
Yeah, true. I had a Wii and a 360, and then I had a 360 Elite, which is currently still behind me. Hooked up, actually. I think I have to plug in one cable and I could play it. But, like, the 360 and the Wii were all I ever had when it comes to, like, the modern consoles.
Okay.
And the Wii was so much, like... I played Just Dance on the fucking Wii, I think.
Oh yeah.
That
So
shit was-
Lissa,
That shit's fun!
Just Dance was Lissa's fucking favorite game on the Wii. You shook your head. No, it wasn't. What was it then? Ratatouille.
Bitch gonna say...
No, I never played that game on the Wii.
Oh right, you played that on the GameCube.
Bitch gonna say Epic
She
Mickey.
stayed up one night for hours. She's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna play Ratatouille." like a year ago.
That her favorite game is probably Epic Mickey.
Epic Mickey.
That game was actually kind of sick. I never got to play it too much because my sister was the one that was obsessed with it.
No, it was Wario Smooth.
Wario Smooth.
moves.
I know that game. That game was
don't
kind of.
know that
I
game.
never played it, but it was kind of sick. But like I thought the Wii, like the motion controls were awesome and all that. Like playing because I think I played Just Dance on Kinect and on
I
Wii.
played Just Dance on Connect.
And Just Dance on Kinect fucking blew.
Yeah.
It sucked. Like I really didn't like it because
I did it with my mom.
Because, like, the thing was, like, it still did it like the... It just clicked for me what you just said.
I was hoping that it wouldn't.
Granted, I did it with my sisters, so we all were just in the living room, and I was dancing in the center of the room, having a fucking blast.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, like we was great because it's just you could fuck around and the motion and stuff. Like, because I remember a lot of people would like, well, with Connect you can't cheat at Just Dance and shit. I'm like, you couldn't cheat on fucking Wii either. I tried. Like on Wii, like, because they're like, oh, you can cheat, but then it's like you try doing a move that involves your hands waving around like a fucking idiot. Like,
Right.
you can't do that shit sitting down. You gotta
Sitting
get
down.
into that shit. Like, and if you didn't, you're cheating yourself. And how are you having fun? So, like, there's no incentive to cheat. Is basically what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Connect just blew because it would always be finicky, barely work, have like a half-second delay on everything. The Tony Hawk skateboard, though,
Hell yeah, that was fun.
I love that. I sucked, but it was really fun for like the 2 or 3 days I played.
Yeah, I played it for basically the same amount of time.
I know I got my mom to pay for this expensive ass fucking peripheral, and I just didn't use it anymore.
It sucked.
I felt bad, but
It was fun a lot, but like it actually sucked.
like, I'd totally go back and play it today. I'm not even gonna front. Like, if somebody was like, yo, let's hook it up and play, I'd be like, sure. Like, I'll be a dumbass on a fucking skateboard who's never actually skated once in his life. I've ridden
Hard.
I've ridden a skateboard before, but I busted my ass on concrete, so
Damn.
which actually didn't hurt that much. It didn't hurt as much as I expected it to. But like, I love that peripheral. It's also sitting next to me on top of a skateboard. Actually, Chris gave me a really old skateboard of his that he took the trucks and wheels off of, so it's pretty much just the board. But I never learned to ride.
Bored.
Yeah, it's just the board. It's a sick board though. But I never learned to ride. I don't think, like, skateboarding was never for me, man. I could ride. Skateboarding was never for me, man.
Oh yeah.
It's a fun, cool little thing, but
Yeah, I have tried a lot, but it's hard.
I'd rather just ride a fucking bike.
You know, that's how I feel about it.
Well, actually, I used to ride a scooter a lot. Which is, dude, scooter was such like a happy medium. Like, because if you rode a scooter, you really just, you fucked around. Like, everybody was like, you're either, like, nobody knew, when you were younger, nobody knew how to ride a skateboard, but nobody could, like, move that well on a bike. You got the perfect in between. You had the movement and the capability. Is lit. I say this as I took my street is a cul-de-sac, and I took the turn going back up the street because I went to the top of this really big hill, and I flew down. I straight was millimeters away from the ground on the turn.
What do you mean?
Like, because when you turn, you lean into the turn sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was leaning so far over that the wheels were barely grabbing the
God.
ground. But I shot back up and kept going up the street. That was... I mean, that was actually how I pretty much acted about it. I was like, that was dangerous. I also crotched myself on this bike multiple times.
That'll happen.
Once was when I was trying to avoid a car. They honked.
Oh.
They honked while I was looking to my left, and they honked right in front of me. So I swerved off the road, and I hit a ditch, flew up, and as I went down, my crotch hit the bar. And then when I came back, the bike followed me and hit me again. And it didn't actually hurt that much, which was like surprising. But
That's good.
it didn't hurt, but I definitely could not straighten my back. like I didn't want to.
You can really use some brain food.
Then go eat some brain food.
Maybe.
What kind of brain food?
Fish.
At the store. But I said I wanted to go to it at 8. Okay.
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 Okay. Well,
Stop.
this is time to end the episode.
Whoops. Oh, I'm keeping that in. Okay. So I guess we want to pimp our socials.
You first.
You can find me, Ghosty. I'd love it if you would like and subscribe. You'll get more content like our dumbasses ranting about, well, mainly my dumbass ranting about shit you probably don't care about. But if you actually like this content, for God knows why, hit the like button and the subscribe button. And if you want to see us do this live every Sunday for the foreseeable future, you can find that at Ghosty Goo on Twitch. Link probably in the description. I don't know. But at the same time, you can find my art, because I am a graphic artist, for those who don't know. You can find my art at the Twitter Ghosty Designs, my professional portfolio, Behance, at Ghosty Designs. And recently, you can find my art on Instagram at ghosty_designs. Very important caveat there. And if you want to contact me to do art, I actually did the Real Talk overlay that you're looking at now. You can hit me up on any of those socials, I guess minus Behance, since there's no messaging feature. And yeah, it's cheap because no one buys. Alright, all you, brother.
Yeah, Instagram, i.imitation_Chris.t, imitation Christ. I'm posting a bunch of stuff, promotion for the EP singles still happening on Halloween. That's basically it. I'm only using Instagram. I guess SoundCloud and Bandcamp, Instagram, all that is Imitation Christ.
SoundCloud is written like it is on screen.
Yes. However, it is written on screen.
Yeah, he can't see the screen because this shit ain't live. And he a bitch. Love you, brother.
Fuck you.
Is that a request or a statement?
Yes.
Hell yeah. While we go handle that, hope you guys enjoyed. But other than that, peace out, motherfuckers.